Hello all, my name is Krishnak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, I'm going to start a playlist specifically to databases. I'm going to discuss about how you can connect to various databases with the help of Python programming language. What are the libraries we'll specifically use. The name of the databases that I like to take is MongoDB. I've already created a playlist on that. MySQL, we have PostgreSQL, we have SQLite, we have S3 bucket, S3 bucket which is present in Amazon AWS, right? That also we'll try to use. Apart from that, did I forget any databases as such? Okay, you can mention all the databases that you want, but this specific playlist will be with respect to databases, and the pattern will be something like this. If you have seen my MongoDB playlist, so the pattern was that I'll try to show you how you can do the installation in your local machine. Then how do you connect to that with the help of Python DB connector. Apart from that, like in MongoDB, I'll say that we had used PyMongo, right? So that was the library we installed it. Now, in the case of, after that, I'll also try to show you some of the very complex queries. So there, I showed you how you can do the insert, how you can solve all the complex CRUD operation apart from the query part. I'd actually solved that, and probably I've created 5 videos on MongoDB. Now, similarly, I'll be continuing with respect to all the databases that we have, which are compatible with Python programming language, where we can connect to them, because this was the major concern for many people. They wanted to work with different databases, have some good amount of information. So with respect to this, in today's video, I'm starting with MySQL. Again, in MySQL also we'll have around 5 to 6 videos. Then again we'll go to Cassandra. Oh, I missed Cassandra. Yes. So Cassandra DB also I'll be taking SQLite, and I'll be also taking S3 bucket. In S3 bucket, if you remember, the library that we use is something called as Boto3, right? So these are kind of libraries we'll be using, so that you'll get an idea about different databases and how do you actually work with that. But today videos, we are going to start with MySQL. So in order to download, first of all, installation of MySQL. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just search for MySQL download for Windows 10, and probably I'm also doing the first time installation right now in my workstation. So okay, there are two options of 32 bits over here. One is 24.5 MB, one is 427.6. I'll definitely go with this because I will be getting more options. Now here you're getting an option where it says that you can also log in using your Oracle web account, because if you really want all these things. Right now I'm not that interested, so I'll just say no thanks, just start my download. Quickly it'll get downloaded. And if you don't know about MySQL, guys, it is the most used databases right now, and many companies use it. It is amazing database, as you know that it follows an RDBMS structure, that is relational database management system. So this installation is gone. I will just execute this. Let's see. I don't know if I face any problem. Let's see. With respect to the installation, we'll learn together. Okay, now first thing, developer default, server only, client only, full custom. So first of all, we'll select with developer default. We'll try to see what all things we'll get in a developer things. Other things when I'll be doing with respect to the web part, in the cloud, when I'm actually putting this particular server, when I'm creating this server or this database, not server, database, at that time we'll discuss about various options over there. I'll select next. Okay, it says, is it empty? Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, I think now it's fine, right? You still have warnings. You have selected. Are you sure you want to continue? Ooh, okay, let's see. So I'm just going to open this. How did I get this path? I've never installed it. Okay, I'll go over here and I'll try to see MySQL server. Okay, now it's fine. I'll go with next. Then I will be selecting this. Okay, I need not select this also, but let's see. By default, we'll try to select this. You'll get this kind of warning saying that this product with the missing requirements will not be installed or upgraded. It's fine. I'll just try to continue. So these are all the things that will get connected, guys. So you can see that probably I'll not require connector with C++ or .NET or Python. I'll just require with Python, right? So let me just do the installation for the whole thing, since I've installed installing the whole tool itself, right? MySQL. So this will probably take 2 minutes, I guess, as the speeds you can see with respect to the speed. But I'll just let me remind you what all things we actually have. First of all, we are installing MySQL server. So this definitely everybody knows. Then MySQL workbench basically means that suppose you want to write some kind of queries with respect to your SQL server, you can actually do it over here. Then you have MySQL notifier, MySQL for Visual Studio 1.2.9. The most important thing that we require is MySQL documentation, sample and examples, and connector / Python. Okay, so these things we require, but you can see the installation is happening very quickly. I'll also show you that how you can actually create your own user and password with respect to this. Till then, I'll think that we'll wait till this whole execution gets on. But understand one thing, guys. It is important that in companies they can use any kind of DBs, right? And you should know at least how to connect to that particular DB, how you can actually perform some CRUD operations, right? So with respect to that, it is very, very important. So that is the reason why many people had actually requested me for creating this specific playlist. So yes, I'll just fast forward this so that the execution will get completed quickly. Okay. So guys, you can see over here the installation of all these particular products has been completed. So we will go to the next step. So here you can see again, we can directly select next. Now we are going to this high availability zone. And in this, guys, we don't want any DB clusters right now. Probably when we are doing this in cloud, we may require. Right now, I'm just want to a standalone MySQL server. So I'm just going to select this. You can see that by default, you'll be assigned a port of 3306. So yes, so this particular port we will be working on, because whenever you really require to connect to a MySQL server, you really have to give the local host or an IP address along with the port number, right? So this particular port number will actually help you to connect to that specific DB. Now out of this, guys, authentication method, right? You have something like use strong password encryption for authentication, use legacy authentication method. Right now I'll be selecting this because when I'll be using some libraries to connect to MySQL, at that time I faced some kind of issues, you know, when I was actually working some few months back. Okay, and in order to solve that, I had to use this legacy authentication. I'll try to tell you that particular error what I had actually faced when I'm doing the practical application. So please make sure that you select this. Okay, don't select this. This should be selected when you are actually working in the cloud. Okay, now I'll be selecting next. Now you can see that MySQL root password, I'll just select 12345 12345. I'll just select this. It says weak, it's okay, I don't care. Anyhow, that is not in my local, so sorry, not in the cloud, not in the server. So here I'm also creating one additional user like Krish, and apart from that I will also write 12345 12345. so I'll say okay. This looks fine. Krish has been added, and I'll go to the next. Now this will be the service that will be running in your services itself. You can also change the name if you want. This will be your Windows service name. That basically means in order to run the MySQL in your local machine, this service will be running continuously in the backend. You will be able to see this in your services side, you know. So if you go and search for services over here, right? So inside the services, you'll be able to see, like if I give an example of MongoDB, right? So if I go and search for MongoDB, MongoDB is always running. Now, if I try to install this, then this will also be, it will be running in the backend. Now, when I select execute, make sure that this all steps are executed correctly. If it does not get executed correctly, that basically means you really have messed up your installation. Probably I may also face this particular issue. Let's see. Okay, now it has shown that yes, you can see that new service added to the monitored list, MySQL 80. Now, if I go over here and if I close this, okay, let me just go and select services. Probably I'll be able to see MySQL services running somewhere. Okay, let me see MySQL 80 services actually running. Okay, so this is where I actually wanted to show you. Now after this is done, you just do finish, right? And then you select next in the product configuration. If you really want to test the connection, you can actually test it, but I really don't want to do it with respect to router connection configuration right now. But to test your connection also, I'll show you. When you do next, you just write 1234 over here to check the password. If you go and check it, okay, it says connection failed because I wrote wrong password, right? My password was 12345. If I write 1234, it will give me error. Okay, over here, if I write 5, it will give me correct. Now over here, if I use my user that I created, Krish, and 1234, it will give me an error. If I use 12345, it will give me connection succeeded. Okay, now I will just go select next and execute it. Okay, so all this execution should happen perfectly so that you'll be able to do it perfectly. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do, guys, over here, okay, one databases were processed for migration. Okay, I really don't want to see this right now. Now this you can see over here, this is done. I'll be finishing it. Okay, still I have some steps. Let's finish this. Okay, so this is got executed, you can see, and this is the MySQL workbench. Okay, now when I click this, okay, sorry, I will go and click on databases, connect to databases, and this will be my local instance. You can see localhost 3306, username, root. Password is already stored over here, so I'm going to select OK. 12345 is my password. Now here you can see this one. Now by default, I have show databases. You can also write your own command with respect to this. I hope it is visible, guys. Show databases. Now if I try to execute this, in order to execute it, I'll just select query, execute all. You'll be able to see that these are all the default databases that is actually present. Okay. Obviously, if you really want to create databases, it will be like create database, Krish. Okay, I hope it works. It works fine, right? Now, if I try to execute the show database again, show databases, and if I execute it, you'll be able to see that Krish is also added. Okay. Now, this is with respect to this. I also want to make sure that in the upcoming videos, you know, this was the basic installation. Now you can create your tables, create your databases, do all the kind of operations, do whatever you want. But again, our main aim is basically to execute with the help of a Python code. So with the help of the Python code, I'll show you in my second tutorial after this. But I hope you understood it. I hope you liked it. Please do let me know whether you face any kind of issues while installing MySQL. I'll try to reply back in the comment. But I think you can also try to explore things. And yes, guys, this was all about this particular video. In the second video, I will try to show you that what all drivers will require when we are trying to connect to the MySQL from the Python programming language. And the library that we'll be requiring is something called as MySQL connector Python, which we'll try to install it in my next video in front of you. Then I'll try to show you how you can create a database, how you can create tables, how you can query columns, how you can query from the table, how you can perform more complex operation. So again, it will be around 4 to 5 videos with respect to this. After we complete this, we'll move to Cassandra, right? So I hope you like this particular video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you one and all. Bye bye.